It's good community. This video is sponsored by Polar Seltzer.
Right.
Yep.
If you don't know who I am, Javon Davis. I'm a great guy. I think you guys are gonna love me. Nobody like me. Yeah, man.
He's him. Truly.
No.
Some people claim it, but
Nah.
very few actually live the lifestyle.
I appreciate that, man. He's also him. We're both him. We're both him. We're the same him.
This video is also sponsored by Underdog Athletics.
Right.
Get yourself 15% off using code Kent Robertson, all caps.
Right. How was your day, Kent?
I breathe today.
Okay.
I breathe in oxygen, I exhale carbon dioxide,
Right.
and I'm grateful for that.
Right.
I'm grateful for that.
It's great. Are you gonna ask me the same thing, or are you just gonna kind of like?
Nah, I think I'll let you hang.
Okay.
I'll leave you on red for a second there.
Okay.
A little bit more background. You know, I've just started recording videos for no reason other than I kind of felt God's direction that way, so I decided let's give it a shot. Been doing that for like a month and a half. You know, kind of sprinkled in a little bit of Javon in there. You guys remember that one clip where Javon was kind of just walking back and forth in front of the camera at Cook Pavilion, the basketball court,
Right.
being a goon.
Right.
But now this is like a formal introduction. You know,
Right,
this,
yeah.
this is really who we are.
This is the
The
real.
story, what we're trying to do, what we're about.
What we stand for, baby.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
this is kind of giving y'all a little behind the scenes look.
Right.
Decided to just like start recording and then eventually do something like this, what we're doing now, and just kind of give you all a little bit of background.
Right.
I'll let Javon kind of explain himself.
Well, like I said, my name is Javon from North Omaha. You know, went to Creighton Prep for high school, studying criminal justice here in Lincoln. And you know, I mean, since I was a kid, you know, I would dabble in the football. You know, I would play around here and there. But as of lately, I just started seeing these crazy signs, bro. This is the direction that God wants me to go in. And so since then, I remember I was at a party, man, and one of the Husker football players kind of came up to me and asked, "Why you don't play?" And I think that question kind of like ricocheted into me asking myself, "Why don't you play?" And you know, I had, you know, then after that I had went to buy an agility kit, and then you know I started to slowly grind. Like I used to play lineman when I was younger. But as of now, you know, I was looking to play safety, but I'm really open to anything, you know. I don't want to just limit myself to one category. So I went to go buy an agility kit. And then one day I was working out, and one of the rugby captains, Lucas Fleming, had asked me if I ever played rugby. And to be honest with you, like all jokes aside, where I'm from, man, like never heard of rugby in my life. So it's kind of like it's very different, you know. So I kind of, you know, just tried it out. Then I met, you know, my brother Kent, and click from there. Well, like minds, grinding, came from, you know, where we came from, but
Late bloomers.
right, late bloomers to the game. Been grinding ever since. And as you see, stuck together. Here now, we actually just got done working out probably like an hour ago. We had a workout, and then we did our own work after that. So that sums it up. Even though you don't really know me, that might could sum up a little bit of us, you know?
Yeah, man. Training, nutrition, rest, like we're treating the whole process, skill work, like really trying to treat it as a holistic process, not leaving anything out and giving 100% to every part of the process.
Right.
Not a lot of people doing what we're doing right now.
Right.
My story's somewhat similar. I mean, in terms of like just late blooming to rugby, I started playing 3 years ago. kind of off and on. Didn't get a lot of playing time my first couple of seasons, and played over the summer. Started thinking about football too, and originally I thought it was kind of, this whole process I've been kind of, as evidenced by the shirt, just trying to live for God and His plan for my life and not my own. I was like, God, what do you really want me to do? Because if sports isn't really the thing for me, then I'm not trying to kick a closed door, so to speak. So I kind of felt Him guiding and leading towards maybe giving football another shot and trying to maybe take a little more unorthodox route.
Right.
For all y'all that don't know, I actually never have played a single down and tackle football in high school because I was homeschooled up till 10th grade. I was only able to play in a small private homeschool flag league. A few of my friends who also played, I saw them kind of, make it out, and one of them was playing for the Huskers. He just entered the transfer portal, Devon Hall, and then the other one, Mark Anderson, he's playing for a D2 school. So seeing that and seeing kind of some other signs that God had kind of thrown in front of my path, it was like kind of evident that He wanted me to keep trying, and
right.
wherever it leads, it leads. If He shuts the door, that's fine. He guided me to that spot. Where He closes one door, He opens another, right? So that's kind of my process right now. And at one point I did, freshman year coming here, I thought maybe trying to get onto the Huskers. That was the original prospect. And, now with NCAA, dropping the roster from 145 to 105, NIL is now kind of taking over college sports. Guys like me who didn't have a lot of exposure growing up,
right,
is starting to become a little more scarce of an opportunity.
Right.
But a door that I didn't even see that God kind of has been opening these past few months, is opening the semi-pro route. So basically going semi-pro arena football, taking that next step, CFL, UFL, and then from there, NFL.
Right.
And that's kind of the path that I see that He's starting to open doors for me for.
Right.
Very unorthodox plan, but to be honest with you, this whole entire journey of my life has kind of been unorthodox.
Right.
Even starting as a kid, just being homeschooled, I mean, that's not something that the mainstream, American would probably just throw their kid in school because they have work, they have other things, and they don't want to really deal with their kid. And so even from a very early age, I was always kind of severed from the pack in a sense. You can kind of talk about that.
Yeah,
kind of be like separate from the pack.
Yeah, most definitely.
How far back did that even extend for you?
Yeah, right. So, growing up, like I said, I was playing football, but for me, it was more so just something to do, right? I didn't actually. I had a love for it, but to be honest with you, I was honestly at war with myself. And what I mean by that is, the doubt. Will I fail? Being scared to fail, being scared, and I still deal with this to this day. But I've been learning that God, in order for the version that God wants me to be, I have to go through a process, right? So even started from a kid, you may look at me now, but I used to be overweight with my pops. Me and my dad used to be homeless. Like, we went from house to house. I think we went 4 houses maybe. So they had to sleep on floors. They had to do things like this, and one thing I can say about that even is I never went hungry a day. Despite all we went through, my pops made sure that I never went hungry a day. And so, and being able to come here, it's like, I never got to fit in with the crowd, right? I either was, overweight, or people label me as this or label me as that. So I always stood out. Like I said, I'm from a place where this ain't normal for you to go to college. It's not normal for you to be doing these big things. And I know I got a lot of young cousins, right? I got a lot of young cousins in the same thing that I was in, right? With no role model, because I ain't have a role model. Yeah, I had my pops, but at the same time, it was like I didn't have nobody of this age. I didn't get to see how they got there, right? So for me, it's more so that I get a chance to be the inspiration for the younger youth going this route, right? A lot of people would have been hung the cleats up, right? When it didn't work in high school, just hang them up and be done. I didn't even have cleats to hang up in high school. because I gave up on myself. So now it's kind of the chance for me to not only be able to find myself, but also be able to inspire while I'm doing it. And I'm also, and I'm thankful that God even put me in this position to be able to do this, because a lot of people don't get this opportunity to do these things and get these opportunities to play sports again. Like it's a lot of people that maybe in wheelchairs or got diseases going on, So it's a blessing to even be able to see another day and to be able to do what I'm doing. So that's pretty much me. But yeah, one thing I can say though is the route, is the path that you think it's gonna take to get there. Like you may think it's gonna be straight, right? But it's gonna be a ton of bumps in the road. Well, not necessarily bumps, but every step is a lesson, right? Every step you may veer off, right? You think it's a straight shot, but God gonna make you veer off, right? Like I'm be honest with y'all, bro. Like at one point, this whole thing I thought like I was this close to quitting, bro. And then he came over to my house and just we just talked, as brothers we just talked, and I had to get it together, But I was this close, giving up on everything. I had stopped working out. I wasn't going to the rec. My cleats was collecting dust, So I think times like that builds character though. On the verge of quitting, you get to really see like, it just hit different. And so in the face of adversity, what do you do? And my tendency is to run or quit, right? And when you don't condition yourself to do something a certain way, when you try to go against it, it's gonna be hard. But that's the path I'm on. Where I'm going against the path that I've been set for myself, right? Because I know it's a lot of young kids out there with the same doubt, either getting picked on or this and that, So who are they gonna look up to? So that kind of what keeps me going, especially the positions that God has put me in, has kind of showed me that, okay, man, you might be one of them ones that I use to show these people that you don't got to be perfect, right? Especially as a man, we got, it feel like we at odds with everybody dang near. As a man, even on the mental health side, as a man, you're supposed to have it all together. We don't get to complain, right? So that's why finding your space to be authentic, to be authentically you, and not have to worry about judgment is important. And even in my community, the black community, where been conditioned to kill each other for no reason, right? Who gonna be the role models that show like you don't gotta do that, you can go your own route, right? You can still stay the course. You don't gotta follow everybody else's crowd. You could be the trailblazer. You could do whatever you want, whether it's rugby, soccer, whatever you want. It don't even gotta be sports, right? But getting out of this conditioned mindset has been another motivator for me. And so that pretty much sums me up, man.
Yeah, man, it's this man's been through more than I have for sure in terms of.
We all go through our own go through. Ain't nobody's worse than nobody else though. We all go through our own go through, man.
Yeah, just just having kind of two sides. We both have very different upbringings and a very different I guess social group.
Yeah.
That's kind of like close to us, our small, not family circle, but just social circle, I guess.
Right.
And I would say, I'm just being honest, and I don't know for sure, but probably more negative influences around you than there are for me.
Yeah.
And just having that and having that adversity, just being able to step out from that and be different from what they're doing and not accepting, the path that they're going down. And
right.
Taking the straight and narrow path that God has for you. It takes a lot of faith, takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of trust for sure.
I definitely agree with that. But for that, I would have to give the thanks to my parents.
Yeah.
By putting me, like I went to a private middle school, right? The middle school I did go to was in a impoverished community, but it was still a private school, so I had the private school education. Mm-hmm. I was able to go to Creighton Prep on a scholarship. So I had these opportunities to do these things that a lot of people who look like me don't get to do, right? So even how we here now, we talking to y'all, where he done seen things, I done seen things, but we could come together and give whether agree to disagree, but we can give both sides to the spectrum, you know. So on these topics, because this is not going to be the last time y'all see us, but we get to give based on our experiences. We get to give and see, okay, it could be different for this race, or it could be different for that race, instead of being at odds and being at war with one another when the only thing that separates us is skin color, you know, which is not a big deal, you know. So that, I think that's what we're here to do, and I'm glad I'm here today. But yeah, man.
So that's a little bit of background on us, kind of just filling in the gaps. I know I've been kind of just like recording the training sessions and whatnot, and not really, you know, telling y'all who we are, but why we're even doing this in the first place.
Right.
He's talked about starting his own channel and getting clips of himself on there. Started doing some skill sessions. Just got done with one today with a guy, Michael Hunter. He's a high-level wide receivers coach.
Great guy. Most definitely.
God's just been opening doors, man. He really has been, and you know, things that I didn't really think were possible. You know, the different connections. Y'all have been seeing me go to Kratos Performance. That in and of itself was honestly a miracle from God, because, you know, a lot of other sports performance places I've been to, they aren't the same level. It really is just kind of, Kratos just really does blow it out of the water, especially with it being kind of in my career track as well. Wanting to be a strength and conditioning coach, you know, just having that 2-in-1 situation, being able to shadow the coaches and train at the same time. It really is just a blessing from God, for real. And having that, the connection with Mike Hunter a few weeks ago, House of Wideouts, just the wide receiver training, so training the skills. Obviously playing for Nebraska Rugby, having an opportunity to play for the Omaha Goats, which is a semi-pro men's team that I've been playing for the past couple summers.
Right.
And then just recently, God's kind of opened the door of semi-pro football for the Omaha Stockmen. And then potentially, we'll see what happens. Tryouts are February 16th for the Omaha Beef. That's a pro arena football team. So just, you know, seeing God work and just step by step, you know. And I don't really know where this is going to go, but you just take whatever step that God has in front of you. You try in life, you try not to look too far ahead. This is something that I've struggled with in the past, is just sometimes we look a little too far ahead.
Right.
And we think that, you know, things are going to develop a certain way, and then it ends up, God just like actually takes your life and basically makes a 180 degree turn and actually closes that door and opens a bigger door that was actually 10 times better than you could ever think. And, you know, as, you know, when you do look a little too far ahead, what tends to happen is you start to worry about the future.
Right.
And worry is fine to a certain extent, but when you start worrying to the point fear starts to be included in that worry, that's where it can be detrimental. And that just really shows you're not trusting in God at all. You're actually looking too far into the future, and you don't really know what it is. God says, and I'm paraphrasing, there's a verse in the Bible that talks about not worrying about the morrow, what you shall eat, what you shall drink, what you shall wear. Like, God's going to provide. And just the fact that you're worried to the extent to where you're actually afraid of the future, you're not really putting your trust in God. And so that's something that, you know, I've had to kind of step back, realize that I was doing it first, because the first step of breaking a bad habit is acknowledging that you have the bad habit itself.
Right.
And then really just seeking God and be like, God, help me to start trusting you for this far distant future, and help me just to take the steps that you have in front of me, because God has steps right in front of you, and you take those steps.
Right.
And then the rest of the way, just trust Him. He's gotten you. And then the other thing is, so you thought about the future, right? Start thinking about the past and reminding yourself of all of the blessings that God has led you to up until that point. God says, count your blessings, right? What He means by that is look back on how, I'll give myself, for example, several years ago, I actually had a near-death experience, almost drowning off the coast of Maine. I mean, that was I won't go into detail because we only have so much time on the data of the phone. But just him getting me through that, bringing me out of it. I kind of had like a couple months of just like a weird funk. I don't really know how to describe it. Like my brain was just when you have a near-death experience, you start kind of going crazy for a little bit because it kind of just puts your perspective on life a little bit differently when you face death straight in the eyes. And just coming out of that, just different things that God's led me up. Start counting your blessings to the point to where He's led you to today. And when you do that, that distant future that you've been worrying about, it starts to gradually dissipate because He's done all that for you. Why would you stop trusting Him now?
Right.
You know?
I definitely can attest to that. Lately, I think like he said, we tend to get ahead of ourselves, and I totally agree. Like when you're trying to do great, when you try to do big things and you got a lot to do, or you got a lot to do, you kind of just want to pile it in at once because you want to get it as quick as possible. So that's been even a thing that I've been learning. Getting out of the instant gratification mindset, knowing that anything worthwhile takes time. That's actually what Nipsey Hussle said.
Yeah.
Shout out Nipsey Hussle, man.
Yeah, man.
Really. But so anything worthwhile takes time, right? Like even think about the world. Anything you can get instantly has a detrimental effect on you, right? So if you masturbating or watching porn, like something I struggle with, or you drinking alcohol or these things, you get for that temporary little second, you get that little relief. But then after that, even think about alcohol. You have fun at night, and then you wake up and you hungover. So anything worthwhile takes time. And so as we have all these things, since we have all these things to do, and we want it now, it causes us to worry and all this anxiety. But then you realize, man, God only give you one day at a time for a reason. Mm-hmm. And so the saying when they say take it just a day by day, it hit different, mm-hmm. because that's literally all you can do. Just take it day by day. Give 100% today. Give 100% tomorrow. Before you know it, when you look up, maybe a year, 2 years, if you give 100% every day, you're going to be so much better than if you worry about giving 150 this day. Mm-hmm. And then the next day after that, you only give 20 because you're tired from giving 150 the day before. You just wanted it right now. Life has been seeming like life is more about longevity. How long can you do it, right? Mm-hmm. Because like this is the kind of thing I think about is we have an invisible clock on the top of our heads, right? So one day it's gonna be it, right? Whether we can do something about it, so the time we have now, instead of rushing to see tomorrow, let's be grateful that we're even able to see today. Because to be honest with you, a lot of people don't even get to see tomorrow, and it's a blessing to be able to wake up and to even have a today or tomorrow. So I think I seen Deion Sanders say this as well, like be where your feet are, so stay in the moment. Like, yeah, you could plan for the future, but don't dwell.
Don't worry. That's the difference. Like you can plan for the future, that's fine.
Right.
Just don't start putting fear into and fear mongering into that.
Right. Most definitely. No, I totally agree.
Now, like on his note, it is life really isn't. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. Right?
Shout out Nipsey Hussle.
That's what the saying goes, and it's a steady progression. You want life to be a steady progression, not a spike.
Yeah.
And even just thinking about training, for example, it's kind of the same thing. Like when you train, you go to the gym. You're going to the gym multiple times a week. You don't want to spike your load too early because what happens is you spike the load. Now your body has to recover from that a little bit longer. So now you have to take several days off from the gym and your progress just goes like this. What you want is a steady increase. And obviously, throughout life, you're going to have, like what he was talking about, the straight line versus what God's plan is. It's kind of a snake, right? It's not a straight line. So it'll go up, it'll kind of plateau, it'll go down a little ways and back up. But as long as when you make that trend line, that line that connects the beginning point to the end point, which is the end of your life, as long as that was straight, and that was a steady progression, and as long as you were generally trending positively, that's the goal.
It's the goal,
It's consistency. It's not that word has honestly just taken on a different meaning for me
No,
lately.
most definitely.
You know what I mean? It's
Right.
it's daily deposits,
Daily
consistent
deposits,
daily
man.
deposits. It's
Right.
not a spike. It's daily deposits.
Right.
You know?
I mean, even to the sense of, to put it in perspective, when I first started playing rugby. Now, I'm not nowhere near where I want to be, but even the fact that when I first started playing, I didn't know anything, and then it slowly, it went from knowing anything to, knowing a little bit, starting to get more familiar with the game as time goes on, right? I wasn't going to get it all on the day I started. It takes time. And then eventually when I get there, I'll be able to share my knowledge versus having it all at once. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little, to put in perspective for y'all, that's kind of my little story or what it pertains to. And yeah, man.
Yeah, showing up. You know,
Every day. No matter what.
Practices, training certain days a week, you show up. Some days you're not going to feel great.
Right.
You know, some days you're going to feel tired. You didn't get sleep last night. The important thing to remember is even if it's not a great training session, it's a training session.
It's a training session.
Right?
Right.
And that's better than no training session.
Right, most definitely.
That's something I've kind of had to learn because I'm very give 100% to everything. That's kind of my mode, right? And so when I know that I wasn't quite able to output 100% of my true potential for a workout, training session, whatever, it's disappointing. But you just have to remember you got in despite different setbacks, the lack of sleep, the overtraining, whatever. Well, actually, yeah, overtraining is a different thing. But like if you get, lack of sleep or there are other circumstances that are out of your control, just getting in and getting a training session at least instead of no training session, it compounds on itself.
It pays off, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, eventually we're gonna include pics in here, but man, just like the slow progression.
Yeah, man. Seeing
the slow progression, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, man,
time flies, bro. Man.
Who you telling, man? I thought I was.
I remember his first day on a rugby pitch, and it wasn't even a rugby pitch. It was a soccer field they were playing on, and bro didn't know where the out of bounds was, like just things of that nature. And
I didn't know the rules.
Yeah, man.
And like I'm still at the beginning stages, but it's improved.
Yeah,
that's it. Like how you said, the trend line is here.
Yeah,
it's trending up, right?
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. Is it's trending up.
Yeah,
as long as you just give effort, show up every day, man. It's really a blessing to like be able to be breathing, bro. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, man, I'm just so excited, man. And we're gonna keep working, man. We're gonna keep informing y'all. Like we said, this was just kind of like the formal introduction.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be back with a lot more, man.
I understand that. We only have a few subscribers right now, but if y'all do want to see some content, have any questions, have any prayer requests, like whatever y'all need us to cover, in these episodes, I'll be looking at it. I'll be checking it, right? And just making sure that y'all are part of the process too, because I'm not really doing this for myself. For me, priorities in life are God, others, and then myself at the bottom in that order. When people try to invert that and put themselves at the top of the list, bad things happen. And really there's that void and emptiness that a lot of people feel in life. They think that cash, they think that success, they think that fame, cars, these other material things that they're putting their trust in, they think that that's going to elevate themselves, and it's all about themselves.
Right.
And they're really missing the message of life. It's not for us. It's to serve God first, then others, and then ourselves last. And so,
most definitely.
But yeah, this is about y'all. It's about God first, then y'all, and y'all are part of this process. Hopefully, we can motivate somebody out there. Maybe,
right? Even if it's just one person.
Yeah, man. I mean, if we
change
one person, we did our job. You know what I mean?
We're like literally,
even if it's just one person, bro.
Even if it's just one person, whether you look like me, whether you look like him, it doesn't matter. We all humans at the end of the day, right? So even if it's just that one person, no matter your color, no matter your background, And
it's not. I don't care if y'all play rugby. I don't care if y'all play football. That's not what it's about. It's about following whatever God's path is for you. Right. Y'all could be plumbers, in the trades.
Bro,
y'all could be an electrician.
You could be a chef, bro.
Y'all could be an EMT.
Man, you could clean refrigerators for a living, bro.
It could be the dirtiest job on planet Earth.
Right.
But if y'all put a smile on your face every time you show up, and that's what God's plan is for you, give 100% to it.
Right. Just do
and
it.
then
man.
some. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
what God has for you. Like be happy that God is giving you a purpose on this earth. He's giving you life. Like take advantage of that.
Most
And
definitely.
give 100%. I don't care what it is. Like if God takes me out of sports, I want to find something else to give 100% to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whatever He has for me. You know, I'm not placing. I don't want this to be like a lot of other channels that I've seen where I'm trying to just motivate football players to be successful. Like I'm not trying to do that.
Right.
This is bigger than football. This is life.
Right. This is life, man.
This is life.
This is life, man.
Y'all need to understand that from day one. This is day one.
This is life.
Understand. We're trying to motivate y'all for life.
For life. That ain't, you know, rugby just a way you could do it. Where it's rare, you know, where it's the mindset of it being rare. Where okay, somebody in that position. Okay, well, let me go be the chef. Even though my family ain't never seen no chef, let me go be a chef. Sparking the mind to, okay, I might got to take a different route. I might got to take the back street. While everybody taking the main street, let me go to back street.
Yeah,
Right? But I'm going to still get there. And the thing about the main street is the main street has a lot of car accidents, right? Where a lot of people get stuck and a lot of people don't get to go, right? But the back streets, you able to maneuver. You know, you get to point A to point B. You might got to take a lot more turns. It might not just be a straight like the main street, but I said, the main street got a lot more car accidents than the back street. So.
The other thing about the back street is, for us as Christians, we have the police car that's escorting us down that back street.
Right.
So we even have a guide for us. You know what I mean? I like the ocean analogy where we have a ship right next to us. You know, the ocean is life, right? We have waves coming about us. Sometimes it's storms or whatever. But we always have that ship right next to us, which is God, and He always has a life preserver and a rope right next to us.
Right.
And it's always available for us in the form of salvation. So
right, most definitely, man.
We're talking about those things later on, man. Just trying to give y'all a little intro video.
Yeah.
Again, my name is Kent Robertson. This is Javon Davis.
Yep, my name is Javon Davis, like you just said, man.
We're trying to change lives, man, and hopefully we change yours today. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Yep.
Peace.